Hello out there in YouTube land. As always, I thank you for coming to my channel. I'm Morris Man. And today I'm going to do another special video. And this one's going to be entitled Some of the Cleverest Songs That I've Heard of, or that some of my favorite cleverest songs. So I'm going to give you a short, brief list of the songs, and I'm going to explain to you why I feel that they're clever. And the first one on the list is a song called I Belong to You. Came out in 1979. It was recorded by a group called the Rance Allen Group. What's interesting about this particular song is when it came out in 79, the R&B stations played it. They played it in nightclubs. I even remember dancing to it at a basement party. And when you listen to it lyrically at first, it sounds like a guy that's professing his love for a woman. But if you listen closely enough or closer enough, he's not talking about a woman. He's talking about, that's right, he's talking about God. It was actually a gospel song, but they marketed it as an R&B song for the reason for heavy rotation on the radio stations. Because as you know, gospel songs normally are played on either gospel stations or usually regular radio stations. They would put aside maybe a day like on Sunday or for a couple hours, and they just play a lot of gospel songs, but they don't play gospel songs Monday through Saturday. So that was very clever of the Rance Allen Group to structure their song lyrically where it sounds like on the surface that it's just an R&B song, a guy talking about getting together with a woman, when he was talking about his love for God. So that was extremely clever because not one time in the song he mentioned the word God. So again, if you give a listen to it, pull it up on YouTube and listen to the lyrics. Initially, it sounds like a guy talking about a woman he's in love with, but it was pretty clever. He's talking about God. So next on my list is Mary Jane by Rick James. Now, everybody know at this point that Rick James wrote that song and it had like a double meaning. You could either think of it as a woman or you could think of it as marijuana. So that was kind of clever how he used these metaphors to make it sound like either or. So that was another clever song. Next on the list is, this group has been known for a lot of songs that they have written that have a lot of metaphors and double meanings. And that's the Beatles. And the song that I'm speaking of here is Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, which is LSD. The reference is a drug reference. And there's actually another song that the Beatles made called Fixing a Hole Where the Rain Gets In. That was actually another song that was kind of a drug reference. So they were extremely clever with their wording and double meanings. Next on my list is Isaac Hayes, A Few More Kisses to Go. Now what I like about this song is Isaac Hayes was always a very classy guy. And the song is basically about him making love to a woman, and it's just a short period of time before she reaches her climactic climax. But the way that he worded it, A Few More Kisses to Go, is so eloquent. So that's why, that made the list, and I think it's a clever song as far as lyrical-wise. Next on the list is blues man Bobby Rush. He wrote a song back in the, I want to say 80s. It was called Sue. It was his biggest hit. And what I liked about it was throughout the song, he's telling you about what he likes about Sue and what she does to him that he can't tell his mother. And at the very end, he starts to go into a lyrical description of what took place. And at the very end, you're surprised by the outcome because you're thinking about him making love to this woman or her making love to him. When at the final end of the song, he's talking about how she just takes his shoes off. So that was pretty clever too. Next on the list is Cameo, Alligator Woman. Now, I actually did just recently a cover on Alligator Woman, the bass cover. I love that song. It's one of their biggest hits to me. And also, I believe Cameo was ahead of their time as far as their style, because that song was kind of like a funk, punk, R&B type of thing all mashed together. And he talks about how he's intrigued by this woman who doesn't really care about him, but he doesn't want her to go, but he doesn't want her to stay. And the reference to Alligator Woman basically means she's her hard-skinned woman. So I thought that was a very clever song as well. Next on my list is Lou Reed. Lou Reed used to be the lead singer for the Velvet Underground back in the 60s. And what I like about Lou Reed was he was ahead of his time, because the song that I'm speaking of is Take a Walk on the Wild Side. Now, if you listen to it now, or let's say if it was just released today or this year, it really wouldn't make that big of a stir. But you got to think about this. This was 1960s that he penned this song. And in this song, he's talking about drug references. He's talking about blowjobs. He's talking about transvestites, which is just kind of unheard of as far as tackling those topics during that era in the 60s. So that's why that particular song made the list, because Lou Reed was very provocative at that stage, or that in that era, which is kind of unheard of again. Okay, so next on the list is Utopia. They've written a lot of great songs as far as lyric-wise that are clever and very crafty, but the one that comes to mind is a song called Libertine. And what's so interesting about that is it's about a woman who comes to a party. This guy's intrigued by her. Then he realizes she's married and she has a lot of other baggage. And just the first line of the song is just really interesting and kind of humorous. It states, when she walks into the room, you can faint from her strong perfume. She said her name was Libertine. So that's why that made the list, because crafty lyrics, very interesting song topic or subject topic. And last on the list is Grace Jones. Back in the late 70s, she had a tremendous big disco hit by the name of Pull Up to My Bumper. And what's interesting is the whole song is just a sexual reference. Pull Up to My Bumper is referring to her genitalia. And the lyrics say, with your long black limousine, which is a reference to the man's genitalia. So it's pretty interesting, but kind of obvious, but yet pretty clever. So that sums up my list of clever songs and why they're clever. And I hope this was interesting. And until next time, take care.